Absolutely, and I would add to that
Uh-huh.
so he sort of he definitely stirred something in you in that dream, but you also had to create your life. And I think one of the things that one of the things I try to do is to help people to. I mean, you're naturally, obviously, you have a gift, Jen, that you found a way to be successful. But I don't think that a lot of times that we're encouraged. I mean, I'm sure that I remember your story that in Korea you were not encouraged to create a life of being a PhD.
No, not at all. But just the reason I'm mentioning that is because you're going to talk to teachers, and you want to encourage them how important they are, and they can sway the way the world goes. That's how powerful teachers can be. So.
Oh no, absolutely. That's exactly why I thought of your story. Absolutely, absolutely. Yes.
And next question is, so what is your vision for your breakthrough to success?
So my vision really is to help people that don't feel like that they feel like using their creativity or being creative or is silly, or they just feel stuck and they don't know how to get out. And to help people to expand their sense of what's possible in their lives. I think that's the biggest goal for me, and the biggest vision is if I can help be a catalyst for as many people as possible to, just like that teacher, who sparked that in you, that to help people, find that spark within themselves and give them the support and tools to go for it. That's my vision.
When did this vision started in you? Do you remember?
It's interesting. I'd love to say like my life has just been like, when I was 10 it came to me, but it's really been like, the reality of my life is I've made a lot of dumb mistakes and I've done a lot of, pretty boneheaded things, and looking back I appreciate everything that I've been through because it's made me who I am today, but I really only, I had this feeling that I wanted to do something, and I always knew that I liked writing, and I always knew that I liked creativity, but this really only came together for me in the last couple of years, and I actually met I'll just put not a plug, but just I met a gentleman named Dick Brusso who does branding, and he's in Colorado, and he really helped me with sort of like the last piece, meeting him, but really only the last couple of years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And And why do you think so many people get stuck in limiting beliefs? Really,
I think it's because we are. I'll give you the quick answer. I think that from an evolutionary standpoint, the safest thing to do was to stay on the path. The people that went off the path got eaten by tigers. So when we're little, we learn how to follow the rules. We learn how to do what we're told, but we don't learn how to defy gravity. Like the song says, I'm through accepting limits because someone says they're so.
So it's a kind of a learned trait.
Yes.
So when you were born, the people when they were born, you think they wouldn't be stuck if you left the people alone, and as innate character, they would not get stuck in that limiting belief. They think they can do almost anything and everything.
I think children, when you see young children, they don't innately. I have a son who's 5, and I love going to school, and the kids just play, and a box is a car. There's no limit. Anything can be anything. And then little by little, we get, we sit in your seat, do this. We have to learn how to sit in our seats, but we also have to learn how to defy gravity, how to let go and trust. The creative process is about trust. You can't know what's going to come of it necessarily. And so that makes it scary. And because it's scary, people sometimes try to keep us safe by telling us, you'll be a doctor, you'll be a lawyer, you stay here, women don't become PhDs, stay in Korea.
So what do you do? Do you use any strategy to train your son not to get stuck on limiting beliefs?
Absolutely. My son, he loves music. He's definitely going to be a musician when he gets older. I have no musical skills whatsoever, so it doesn't come from me. But he loves music, and I think just encouraging him. But one of the things I realized, too, is to be careful to not, even though he loves music, if I keep telling him, you're going to be a musician, I might actually be confining him.
Yeah.
Because who knows? Maybe he'll be a painter. Maybe he'll be a musician and a painter. Maybe he'll be... So I'm careful not to tell him what he is, but to help him, ask him questions to help him discover the next step of his process.
Well, a question I have for you is, what would you say to people who are struggling in this down economy?
I actually do presentations about that. And I did a presentation in Hartford recently after watching a movie called Lemonade, which I would highly recommend. I don't get a commission or anything. You can watch it on YouTube. It's called Lemonade. And what we talk about is the idea of the movie, and I talked about this, is I think this is where creativity is really important. In this economy, we have to be able to look at ourselves as entrepreneurs. We can't rely anymore. We have to have a shift in consciousness. You can't rely on, I have a job, I'm going to retire with the gold watch. You really do need to tap into your creativity. And part of creativity is creating a support network, creating people that believe in you. So I think that's really important.
You know, well, when I was teaching Harvard students, I used to tell them that, there's for every problems we encounter in our lives, there are more than one answer to that problem or to that question. And even the best answers we thought, it was the best answer to any problem thus far. If you look at the same problem with a creative mind and revolutionary ideas and imagination, then you will find something totally different answer sitting right next to it, waiting for you to discover. And, that's what I used to tell them. And then some Harvard students even changed their course of, the dreams or their future. So,
amen. That's wonderful.
So that creativity and, imagination, and they are just so abundant and so powerful. And I don't know why people are not really using it. So that's I guess that's your mission to, spread that. And our mission, I guess, in a way,
That's right.
Yeah. And how do you, this is my more of a personal curiosity, but how do you find the speaking gigs in America? I'm finding quite difficult. In Korea, I've presented over 600 times already.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but in America, I guess because I'm not famous, I thought my talk is more interesting than those famous people, but...
Well, I think you're just from listening to you, I know you're an amazing speaker. A lot of times, one thing I would tell anybody wanting to get to speak is join the National Speaking Association, connect with people there. Honestly, some of the best gigs that I get are through leveraging relationships that I've made with existing professional speakers. So the best thing I could say, honestly, more than anything else, is connect with other professional speakers who have done it and follow them. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah. The Jack Canfield already wrote the recommendation about my work.
Right.
And Sam Horn did that, and so...
that goes a long way.
Yeah. But eventually, and especially my book will come out in, I guess, before Thanksgiving, and once the book comes out, and in Korea, that book sold over 500,000.
Right. No, I know you're a best-selling author.
So I'm sure, my time will come. But anyway, so we've got about a couple of minutes, and would you like to share anything with my audience or with our audience?
Sure. I think one of the things I'd like to, just real quick, I'd like to share just a quick story about a woman that I've worked with over the past couple of years. She's in her early 60s. And when I started working with her, she came to me for counseling, and she'd been living on the streets and using heroin for years and years and years. And it's amazing that she even survived. And at 59 years old, she came into counseling, and she was living in a shelter, and she was living in this little tiny room. And her parents, she's Jewish, and her parents were Holocaust survivors. And her mother was actually pregnant with her when she was in a death camp.
Oh, my God.
And when her mother found out that she was pregnant, she survived and escaped. And this woman was living in this little tiny room, and she said, there's no way out. I'm punishing myself. I don't deserve to be anywhere else. And so over time, we worked with her, and she got into a senior living place, which was much nicer, but they were refusing to take her because she had a criminal background.
Oh, my.
And she went there, and this woman was so hard on herself. And the guy who ran the place said, tell me why I should have you here. You have this terrible history. And she said, because you're looking at a piece of paper. That's who I was, but that's not who I am.
Oh, yeah.
And And he said, "Oh, okay. You can can you come on Monday?"
Uh-huh. That's great. Yeah, I mean, become creative. Then you can come up with the right answers for the right time.
That's right.
Even for the wrong time. But it's almost time, for us to say bye. But before you leave, could you share your website with our listeners once again?
Yes, actually, that would be my biggest call to action. I would love to have you join my mailing list. The website is www.breakfreetosuccess.net. It's www.breakfreetosuccess.net. If you click on the little envelope, you can join the mailing group. I promise not to sell toasters. Just really trying to build up a community of people.
Okay, great. So I hope many of my listeners will, sign up and visit with Doug on his website and learn much more wisdom from you. So I look forward to hearing more wonderful things about you, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you so much for having me on and being such a gracious, wonderful host.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for being the gracious guest. And bye, Doug.
Bye.
Okay. Well, my friends, it's time for us to take another week-long break. The host of the show, American Dreams, The Sky is the Limit, is Jean Robertson. Thank you so much for joining us and listening to our show. Until we meet again, give flight to your dreams for your wonderful life. And remember, we have only one life to live, and for our dreams, the sky is the limit. Thank you. Good night, and God bless you.